Hello listeners and viewers, welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned as always to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Good day, learners, my fellow students at home. We are welcome to another interesting episode or topic in Woodwork. My name is Mr. Ibrahim Yunana. I have my colleagues,
Mr. Daniel Bulus Chawe,
Mr. Kura Sosonde.
And so we have a language science teacher with us is by name
Mr. Edwin Adam.
Okay, we are going to conduct a practical work titled Construction of a Kitchen Stool. Construction of a kitchen stool. So I would allow my colleague, Mr. Chawe, who is going to take us through the preambles, and he will tell us what we need to do. Please stay tuned and follow us as we continue. Thank you.
Learners, as my brother and colleague have rightly said, we have some drawings on the board, and our practical project we are to conduct today is on construction of a kitchen stool. With me on the board is an isometric view and also an exploded view of the project at hand. But before we go into the practical demonstration of how this tool will be constructed, we have to go with the cutting list first. Before the construction is being made, item or the workpiece must be provided. And prior to the construction of this item, the workpiece must be prepared to a required size. We all remember, some days back, I took us on a theoretical demonstration of how a piece can be prepared to a required size. And today, this morning, we shall be demonstrating a little bit about those practical demonstration of the past lessons we had. And with the experience of what we did days back, we shall be using the prepared piece to produce the kitchen stool. Before we go into details, let's check the tools that we needed in the construction of this tool. First and foremost, I have on the board, and also before me, the tools needed are one, the bench. Before me here we have the workbench. The workbench and its accessories. All operations performed in the wood workshop is always performed on the workbench. On the workbench, there are some accessories attached to them, namely the bench vise, which you can see, and secondly, the bench top, which we have over there. The bench vise, the use of the bench vise is to support the tool, that is small piece of wood in performing other operations, while the bench top also serves as the bench top, which is what we have over here, is used to support and also to stop all workpiece from slipping away from the surface of the table, mostly when planing operation is being performed. And next, we have what we call the bench hook. This is the bench hook. The bench hook is another accessories on the bench vise that is used to support the worker or the woodworker in cross-cutting smaller pieces of operations. Then next, in between the bench vise, the workbench, we have the well. The function of this well is to keep all tools that are not in use in any operations. And next is the piece of wood, that is the material we want to use. These are the materials. If you can see from our drawing, we have, from the exploded view on the board, we have 4 numbers of pieces of wood that we are expected to use. The first are the ones that have the longer length with length of 210, while the others, which are the shorter ones, that have a length of 220. Then next is the panel saw. This is the panel saw. The third on the list is the panel saw. This panel saw is used for cross-cutting or ripping operations. And next is the dovetail saw. This is the dovetail saw. The dovetail saw is used for cutting dovetails, which in time being, as we go on, we shall see how this tool can be used to perform the operation. The next is the tri-square. This is the tri-square, which consists of the stock and the blade being joined together at an angle of 90 degrees. The tri-square is used for marking out of joints and also for testing flatness and straightness of wood. Next on our list is the plane. This is the smooth plane. The smooth plane, as you can see, is used for planing surfaces and edges of wood. That takes us to the next, the tape, or the measuring tape. The measuring tape, or refractable steel rule, is used to take dimensions or also to transfer dimensions on wood surfaces. Next on the list is the mallet. This is the mallet. The mallet consists of the handle and the head. This head, as you can see, the mallet looks like the hammer, but the difference between the hammer and the mallet is that the head of the mallet is made of hide, being compressed together, or it can be used, it can also be made of rubber. And the mallet is used in conjunction with the chisel for shaving out wood. Next is a pencil. This is a pencil. It is used in conjunction with the tri-square for marking out of joints or scribing of lines on wood surface. Next on the list is a piece of wood which we call it the straight edge. This straight edge is used for testing flatness or straightness of surfaces of wood. And lastly on the list is the chisel. The chisel. The chisel here we have is used for shaping of wood surfaces or shaping of waste parts of joints during construction. And the chisel is used in conjunction also with the mallet after marking out has been done using the tri-square to shave out any waste parts of our joints. So far in this operation, practical demonstration, these are the tools that we shall be using. So this is where I will stop for now. I will still have to call my able colleague and my brother to come and take us through the practical demonstration of how the kitchen stool can be produced. My students at home, I still want you to stay focused and be attentive to how these steps can be followed from the beginning to the end so that we will achieve our aim. Thank you.
Okay, my students, my colleague has taken you through the preambles. We're now going to go into the practicals, fully. Now, normally in exams, you are given the pieces for the practical prior to exam's date and the time. The reason why you'll be given the pieces, you use the cutting list, which I have here below. You can see the cutting list. You have the materials. This cutting list will spell out the types of materials and then the sizes of the materials that you are to prepare prior to exam time. And with me, I have these materials already prepared. We assume that we are in exams, we want to carry out the practical using these materials. Now, when you look at the board, like my colleague said, there are two different drawings. Oftentimes, we are given 15 minutes prior to starting time, after being issued with a question, with the material. Those 15 minutes are not counted in the exams. You take those 15 minutes, study the question, study the materials, and then interpret the drawings, connect the drawings until you get an insight of what you are supposed to do. In fact, areas where you do not understand very well, you have to connect with sketches. Sometimes examiners give you the isometric block, or they either can give you the orthographic drawing. But for this practical, we have gone ahead to draw the isometric block of the kitchen stool, and then we have also gone ahead to draw the exploded view. You all know what an exploded view is. Exploded view intends to expose all the intricacies, to open up the piece of job after being drawn in isometric, to open it out so that we'll be able to see the intricate of the joint, the type of joint that we need to use, and then their intricacies. And so with me on the board, we have the isometric weld dimension. Then we have the exploded. You will find out that mere looking at the exploded, you would understand that we have 4 pieces of wood to be used for the construction of this article. Whenever I mention article, I am referring to the kitchen stool. Either I call it article or I call it the job. It is still talking about the kitchen stool. Now, with me here, as a student, you'll be given these 4 pieces. 2, they are in pairs. 2 this side and 2 here. Now, it is left for you. Look at the isometric. Assuming that this isometric drawing has been interpreted by you and you are the one that has brought out the view as it is. Now you imagine how you are going to bring them together and create an impression. See, by me putting these things like this, by me putting them like this, one is on top, isn't it? One is below. You can easily deduce that. You can easily deduce that one is on top and one is below. You can easily deduce that, You can easily deduce that one is on top and the other one is below. You can easily deduce that, this is what it's going to be. Isn't it, my students? But this one does not hold. Can you see it? Do you see it holding? No, it's not holding. It has collapsed because what is meant to hold it has not yet been worked upon. So we are going to go through the job, create a way that these pieces will hold together, thereby giving us a final result. See the exploded view. The exploded view has exposed you to the types of joints. We have 2 types of joints that we are going to use in this construction. They are simple. You see here, we have what we call the dovetail joints. You can see the shape. The shape looks like what? The tail of a dove. That is why we call it a dovetail joint. Anything that takes, from here, we call it the dove. The shape looks like the dove of what? A tail. We call it also the male. This one is the male. And with me here, by the side, there is a groove. We call that groove a socket. And it is a socket of a dove tail. Then at the middle, at the other extreme end, it's not necessarily a dove tail. It's a simple tenon and a slot or a groove where they will mesh, or they fit into each other. They fit into each other. Now, at the middle of the other sides, by my right-hand side, we have one side, we call it a style, and the left-hand side, we call it what? Another style. So there are holes created. We call them mortise holes. These mortise holes have one other long piece that is cut. It has pins. Those pins are called tenons. And the tenons are fitted into the sockets. The sockets, we call them the sockets, they fit into. And these sockets are created by mortising. And so, my students, having understood and having seen all the tools that are involved, I want us to go through the operational sequence. By the operational sequence, it will help us to mark out. We'll first start with the operational sequence, say, mark out. For any construction that you are going to do, having prepared the piece to the required size, you are going to mark out. And so, now by the drawing you see, we have 4 pieces. We will start, choose where you want to start. These ones are the stalks, they stand vertically, and these ones are the rails, they stand horizontally. They stand horizontally. So we want to follow them and mark them one after the other. But let me take the joints, because they are not the same joints, I want to take the dovetailed joint and mark out. By my measurement, I have my measuring instrument. This stuff as a tri-square, it is calibrated or graduated. It has dimensions. We take measurements and transfer into the surface of the wood and mark out. This pencil serves as my marking out tool. It serves as my marking out tool. This one, because it has graduations, I wouldn't bother myself to go to use the tape, because this one, I can use this one as well. But because this one has the graduation as well as the tape, let me leave the tape and then use these graduations. They have the same thing to mark. The first thing is, I want to mark out this. Look at the drawing. I want to mark out this side. And go back and look at the measurements. The measurement says the whole piece from here to here, it's 150. The distance of this piece from here to here is 150. So the width of all the pieces, this one from here to here is 150. That is why if you clap them together, you see them together, you see they blend each other. They are the same sizes. So now I want us to now mark out. We'll start out with these ones, these long pieces first. We will carry them and mark them out. First, we'll start with the dovetail. Now, the measurement tells me that the distance from here to here is, the whole piece is 150, and by my rule, it's 150. So if by any reason I want to get the center, I mark 150 to be my center. To be my center. And then I can draw it down, mark 150, draw it down, because it is one end, and then they said, because it is 150 from the center, the mark from the center to this side, because this one is 80 from this side, then it means that from the center here, I will mark 40 this side, 40 the other side. So if I mark 40 this side, 40 the other side, okay, and because this one also has a thickness, the pieces have what? Thickness. This one, if it comes in here, this one has to take the thickness of this, and the thickness of the piece of wood is 20. So I take 20, I marked here, I mark 20 with the rule, and then I draw a line. I draw a line. That line that I draw is looking square. I draw a line. Okay? If I draw the line, because the tail, the dove, this cute area, it's said to be 40. So from the center of this one, I take 20 here. Then I joined my 20 with the 40 by my left hand side and then the 40 by my right hand side. And then it gives me the shape of the dovetail. Gives me the shape of the dovetail. What I do to this side, I do to the other side too. It gives me the shape of the dovetail. Haven't taken the measurements, I obtained the shape of the dovetail. Now, my students, let me mark it out. This is 20. Now, I mark out, produce the lines of cut. My fellow students, what do you see here? By seeing this, it has given you the shape of what? A dovetail. It gives you the shape of what? A dovetail. All that we need to do now, because this is what we are interested at, this one we cut it off, this one we cut it off. Are we there? Now, because I want, by the time I go into cutting, I can cut them at the same time. Let me go to the other end. The other end is this. This one is no longer a dovetail, it's a tenon. Pieces with 2 pins. So also I will mark it. But what then is the measurement? Consider the measurements. They divided this piece into 5 places. The pins and the groove, they have the same sizes. The pins are 30-30, grooves are 30-30. So I will carry my measuring tool with my pencil, come down here, mark this piece of job 30, 30, 30, 30, and then because I've divided into 5 equal parts. And then I will mark out, draw lines, draw lines, draw lines. Now if I draw these lines, then mark out the thickness of the wood that is coming to mesh into, fit into the groove that you cut. So you mark out it is 20. So after you have marked it out, 20, then you draw lines, you find that this line that I will draw will intersect with the other ones that I have drawn for the pins. Okay? I will do the same to the other side so that I will not make mistakes. 20, draw 20 as thickness, and then here also I mark 30, 30, 30, 30, taking cognizance of the measurements that I have there. So I would join them with the thickness of the piece that is coming in to fit into the job. That is coming in to fit into the slots. Now, having done that, I need also to be very careful, because if I finish marking, I am supposed to indicate those that the place, those areas that will cut to be waste, to be removed, and those areas that I would like to be my piece. Now look at it. You hold it this way. I have to cut area, this one off, to produce a groove and cut this one off, and also to cut this one off. So now let me mark. I will star the ones I will cut off. I will star the ones I will cut off. Same I will do to this side. Star, star. Now my students see. Now what you're seeing here, you can see that I star, these areas that I star are going to be waste. They will be waste, we will cut them off. I will cut them off. By the time I cut them off, I have slots. The ones I will not cut off will be my socket or my groove. Now I am done with this piece. That is the topmost piece. I'm done with it. Now let me go to the bottom piece, because it goes side by side with this one. But this one is a bit in the middle. This one does not have a dovetail. The second piece does not have a dovetail. This one here, it only has pins. It has only pins. So I want to mark out the pins also. Now, just like I mark this one, the other end 30, 30. That's the same thing I will carry and mark this one. 30, 30, 30, 30. Okay, then I mark the thickness, because this one will penetrate through this hole as against this thickness, 30 millimeters. Now, I will mark the 30 so that I will know when by the time it projects 20, by the time it goes out, it will not overshoot. Neither would it not level. It is supposed to fit when they mesh. I don't want it to do this. I don't want it to be like this. By the time I fit in, I don't want it to be like this. But I want it to be fit like this, to penetrate like this. So follow me as you see, I continue. Now, let me complete the marking. Okay, I'm trying to do my marking. Now, I will turn the other side and also finish my marking. What I have done on the other one is what I'm doing on this one, on this end too, because all of them have the same markings. I want to show you something. I continue my marking so that I will obtain accurate job. I will have an accurate job. I don't want to make mistakes. You have to be very careful. That is why you have to check with correspondence. Now look at the other piece. I mark this one, okay, on the other piece. Now this one I have to also follow and mark where I'm going to cut off the waste, so that I will not forget. My students, I want to indicate where I will cut as a waste and where I would leave as a useful pin. Now, if you look at the drawing here, we have this to cut off as a waste, cut this one slot as a waste, cut this one as a waste. We have two pins. So also shall we have two pins, just like the other side there. So look at me here. So this one, it is going to be a waste. This one is going to be a waste. This one is going to be a waste. You turn the other side, it's going to be a waste. This one is going to be a waste. And this one is going to be a waste. Okay? That is all that I need to do. Once I finish this, once you finish the marking and you mark accurately, half of the work is done. But if you make a mistake, it's as if you have done nothing. I repeat, if you dare make a mistake and the mistake is not identified before you cut, you have done nothing. Because at the end of the day, your work will be neglected. It will be a spoiled job. Now, so here also, I have this, I have this, I have this to cut. I turn this one, this, and this to cut. Now, see, all the ones I start, they are going to, I'll cut them off. They are termed as my wasted pieces. Okay, now, if I like, I can stop, I can go ahead and finish this, but let me just finish the whole marking, so that when I come to cutting, students, please permit me to, because it is expected that finish marking, check and be sure that you mark exactly what you want. So let me go ahead and then pair these pieces. Let me start with the dovetail that I made before. I have marked out all the pins. I have marked out all the pins. The pins are on the longer pieces, you can see. Now what I want to do, I want to mark out all the sockets. Like the other one, I started with the dovetail. So I want to cut the dovetail. Let me see. Choose the best side that you think is better for you, that you can use for cutting the dovetail. Okay, let me choose this one. This one is going to be the one I will use for cutting the dovetail. Now, I mark it. Remember, on the surface of that one, we had divided 150 into what? Into 2. 150 divided by 2 is 75. You got the center. And then from the center of 75, they said the head of the dovetail is 80. Check the drawing. The head of the dovetail is 80. And then the skewed area is what, students? 40. Let me explain to you. The head of the dovetail from here to here is 80. And then the skewed area is 40. So that is what I want to do now. But also, when you are marking this one, you need to be very careful. Very careful. This time around, you turn on the end and do your marking. You look at the end and do your marking. You do the marking on the end. First and foremost, you find the center, 75. If you mark 75, from the center of this one, 75. So, from center you take 40. I mark 40. I mark 40 at the other side. Now, let me draw a line to show my center. This is the center of this piece. I have taken 40 from this side, and I've taken 40 from this side. Now the other end, the other edge of the end. Now I'll also measure 40. I'll measure 20 from the center, 20 here, 20 here. That will give me my center. And then I need to drop these lines to a thickness of 20 millimeters. To a thickness of 20 millimeters. The thickness of this one, I need to drop it to a thickness of 20 millimeters. So all I need to do, I mark my 20 millimeters and then draw a line to show that when I come to cut, that is where I will stop. Draw a line, turn the other side, draw another line at 20, and then drop the marks that you make on the other edges. Now let me drop the marks of this. This one, I will drop the mark of 40. Create the marks at 40. Okay, I've created the mark at 40. Now from this, join the mark at 40 to the mark at 80. The mark at 40 to the mark at 80. Join the mark at 40 and then drop it also to 20. Drop this one also to 20. Now my students, I want you to look at something. Now let me do this one so that you see. What you see at this side is wider, isn't it? Now look at this side. It's skewed. It's skewed. It's straight. But by the time I cut it off, it will tell us whether it's going to blend with this one that I cut. Now look at it. Let me refer you back to the drawing. From here to here is this one, from here to here, my students. And then from this point to this point is the one I have from this point to this point. I call it 40. This measurement is 80. This one is 40. Are we there? Now the next one, let me complete this piece. Now on this piece, you have this. You have 2 slots. The 2 slots, the measurement says, the 2 slots, look at it here. Let's go back to the isometric. On the measurement, they said, from here to the point I will start marking this is 90. Look at it. From here, from the bottom to this point is 90. Look at it here. And then the thickness of the piece of wood is 20. Look at it, 20 here. 20. 20. And so, let me take the measurements. Starting from the lower part, or even if I take it from here, it's 110. But let me start from the lower part. 90. If I mark 90, after marking 90, I take my thickness, which is 20. 90 plus 20 is 110. Okay? Then I draw horizontal lines. I draw horizontal lines. Horizontal lines. I draw horizontal lines. I draw horizontal lines. These horizontal lines depict my 20, the thickness of the piece that is coming to, the thickness of this piece that is coming into it. Now, from there, look at it. This one is, as we look at in the drawing there, this one is 20, the thickness is 20 by 30. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll also divide it into 5 equal parts of 30 millimeters each. So, now if I divide it 30 millimeters, I take 30, 30, 30, 30, okay? Then I drop the lines, I join them 30 to 30, 30 to 30, again, again. Okay, turn the other side and do the same. 30, 30, 30, 30, and then draw horizontal lines too. You can generate them from the other one from behind, but I have chosen to draw so that I will not make mistakes. Now, I make this one 30, so I'll drop the lines. 30, 30, 30, 30. Now look up here, students. Look here. Now, there is going to be a waste. I'm going to mark the ones I'm going to remove as a waste so that I'll have my slots or my socket. Now, the other side, it was this one. Okay, this is going to be my waste. This is going to be my waste. Can you see that we have a gap of 1 inside? Can you see it? And then we have this one is not taught, this one is not taught, this one is not taught. Now look at it here. This place that you see here is this. This one that you see is this. This one that you see is this. And then this one is C. So it has only 2 pins. The 2 pins that will come in is what I have marked to give us where I'll cut much later. Now, so I am done with this one, the marking. Let me take the last piece. Let me take the last piece. The last piece also, I will divide it into, it is 150. I will divide it into 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, and then get the thickness of the wood, 20, draw a horizontal line on it. You draw this, you draw this, you draw this. Okay, you join them, join them, join this, join the lines to each other. Okay, now the same thing you do to this one. You take your 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, and then make the thickness of the wood, just like you did on the other side. 30, then draw a horizontal line to get to the point that you want to give you the thickness of the piece that is coming into it. And then join these 30s. Okay. 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 Now, I've gotten all that I need. Now, this also has, okay, let me identify the one that is going to be a waist at this point. Because, now look at it. Because this one, look at it. Because this one has a cut. Let's look at it clearly. This one has a cut. So, this is going to be a waist. Okay, this one is going to be a waist. This one is going to be a waist. Look at it. It's going to be a waist. This one is going to be a waist. This one is going to be a waist. Don't worry. If I make mistakes, I will check before I start cutting. Because that is a rule. You must check and be sure that the measurements, the markings are correct, are accurate. Now let's go to the last part of the socket. Okay? What I did to this one, I marked, took 90, and then I took the thickness of the piece of wood. I draw horizontal lines across. I draw horizontal lines across. Turn the other side. I marked 90, then 20. I draw horizontal lines across. I draw horizontal lines across. Then, what is next? Let me mark out where I'll cut the socket. It's 30, 30, 30, 30. Then I mark it out. I mark it out. Now it's left for me now to choose my sockets. This is going to be a socket. Now look here. Okay, it's going to be a socket, and this one is also going to be a socket, corresponding with this one, the two. See, they are giving me the same thing. Okay, now let's turn to the side. This one I have not marked it. 30, 30, 30, 30. And then I have drawn my horizontal line. So let me join them. Join them. Join them. Join them. Okay. Now look at it. So I also produce my waist. Now, class, I have now obtained what I want. I have finished the marking. I have finished the marking. What I want now, I want to cross-check. Cross-check and be sure that the markings are corresponding. Now, let me take the dovetail first, where I made the dovetail. This is my dovetail. I have to take the dovetail of the horizontal piece and then the vertical piece. We call this one the rail, and then we call this one the style. The rail and the style, they come like this. So let me check. Oh, I got this. Let me check this one. Oh, this one also, I got it. Pin to socket, I got it. Now let me check the center. The center. The center. This is the center. Okay, this is the center. Now let me check it. Okay, I got it. Pin, socket, pin, socket. Let me check the other one. I got it. Pin, socket, pin, socket. Okay, I am done. All these measurements have been taken care of. The next activity to be done is to follow this marking one after the other and cut them. My fellow students, it will interest you to note that yes, you have succeeded in marking. Another good part of this work is that you have to follow it and cut it accurately with sharp cuts. Make sure your cuts are sharp. Don't cut as if you have a blunt saw. No, use a sharp saw and cut. Now, I'm going to use the dovetail saw. Here, there are two operations that will be conducted. I would first and foremost cut the pins. Cut the pins. Now, for me to cut the pins, I will mount it on the vise. This is my vise. The purpose of the vise is to help in holding and supporting the job while operation is going on. Now I mount it. If I like, I bring it down so that it will not make not a lot of noise. Okay. Now you can see the vise. It's my help partner. It's my holding partner. Okay. Now this one is a dovetail saw. Now what am I going to do? I will take this dovetail saw and follow the marks that I have made and cut. I will cut for the pin, the dovetail shape. I will cut, put my hand, cut, and while you are cutting, you check on the lines whether the saw is cutting on the lines. If the saw is not cutting on the lines, you are missing up. You are missing out. I'll cut and be checking every strike. I'll be checking so that I don't make mistakes. Okay? When you cut to the line of the thickness of 20 millimeters, you stop. Cut the left-hand side. Now, I want to remove the waste. Now, this is what I want. Let me show you, my students. What I need from this one is the dovetail. So I'll cut this one as a waste. See the initial cross I have made. I want to cut it off. I'll cut it off. Now, I'll cut it off. Cut it at the right angle, straight on the line. Okay. Make sure you cut it straight and sharp. Cut the other one. Fellow students, follow me. What do you see here? Does this one look like the tail of a dove? Yes. It looks like a tail of a dove opens at the outside and it closes on the inside. Now, I cut the pins. Also remember, I said, I marked this one, I said I'm going to cut them off. So I want to cut them off now. Sorry, before then, let me cut this one. Okay. One, I cannot just cut it off directly. I have to chisel it. But if I want, I can do it some diagonal cutting to reduce the stress in it. To reduce the stress in it when I come to cutting. To reduce the stress when I come to chiseling. When it comes to chiseling, I can chisel them out. Now, I will not chisel now. Let me cut the other one so that if I come to chisel, I'll chisel them at the same time. Let me cut this one too. By this, I have already noted my wastes. I have identified my waste. This one will go, this one will go, this one will go. But first, let me cut the one that the saw can cut. And then leave the ones that the saw cannot cut. If you find out that the saw is not cutting at right angle, at the marked cut, you are not cutting correctly. And you'll find problems when you come to fixing it. So my saw, if I like, carry this and test what? You see it. If I test it, if it's not square with this square, it means I'm not cutting straight. If supposing it tilted, you see, if it tilts like this, you're not cutting straight. But it must go with the blade of the square as you cut. That is telling you are cutting straight. So, accident. The ones that I can cut with saw, I'm able to cut it. I will come. The other ones will be with chisel. Now the next one. Let me take the sides, the two sides. I want to cut the two sides. The one that has the dovetail and the one that has just the pins. First, I will start with the one that has the dovetailed socket. My saw will be between the measurement. So here what I'm left with is to chisel. What I'm left with is to chisel. So, yes, I'm done with this. So the others will be a chisel work. Now let me cut this one too. This one is just sockets. It's just sockets. So I cut. I want to remove the waste. Okay? Now, I'm done with this. But you see, what is going to happen here is that, let me check if what I have done, I am online before I cut. Now look at it. Okay? Yeah, it's all right. Now the next thing is, haven't done the measurements, haven't gone through measurements. The next tool I'll use the mallet and the chisel. This is my mallet. This is my chisel. The mallet is intended to give me the hits that will warrant me to cut and produce the slots that are needed. Let me start with the pins. Produce the pins that I need. Now, if you want to cut, make sure that your cuts, I will follow your cuts are not. Make sure that your cuts are not. I said are not. I mean, do not put the piece of wood on a hollowed place. It must be a flat place, so that when you are chiseling, you will not encounter a problem. Now, let me also draw your attention, my students. I want to strike and cut. The position of my chisel must be at right angle. Must be at right angle, so that the cut you will cut will also be at right angle to give you a good finish. I continue. Hit, because the piece is very big, you can hit it. Follow the line, the mark line, and hit. Turn the other side and do the same thing. See what I have done? I want to turn the other side and do the same thing. I cut. My intention is to create a groove, a socket, and to create a socket at the top where the pins are coming to fit in. I'll turn the other side and do the same thing. So behold the other side. I do the job. I cut. Make sure your chisel is held at 90 degrees. When I mean 90 degrees straight, vertically. I have now produced a socket. I want to produce the socket also at the center. Okay? I have succeeded in cutting the trim border of the sides. I want to try and fix them. Now let me see. Now normally on fixing this, trial fixing, you tap, try to tap. This one needs some little clearance. It needs some little clearance because I don't want to force it too much so that it will not tear my job. Let me make some little clearance. Wow. Okay. This point. Giving me results. And even holding on its own. Okay. Let me try the other one. Put my dovetail. Try the dovetail. I don't know whether I tried this one. Okay. Tap it a little. Okay. Now. So, we're almost getting there. All that we need to do now is to cut the slot. But before we cut the slot, we have to dismantle it so that we will not have challenges when we want to cut the slot. The slot we are cutting is this. Cut this one, and it's on just the two sides. This one here and this one here. So now tap it out. Good. Okay, I've cut this one. I want to create the pin that will fit into this. Remember, subsequently, not long ago, I tried to produce the pins, but I cannot conclude this job until I am able to produce the desired pins. Now let me cut off the pin. Let me remove the waste and have the required pins so that to create a deep cut for me. Okay, now I'm done with this. I'll see what happens. This one is expected to go into this. So you try it. Okay. The students, see, trying to see that this is a trial assembly. I want to be sure that it fits into my job and gives me what I want. Okay, now the next one is, okay, I have cut this one. Let me remove this one and then cut the slot. This one is very simple. After you have cut, the only thing you need to be very careful when you are cutting out the wastes so that you will not spoil your job after suffering a long way. I'm done with this. Okay, let me finish this one. Okay. Try to remove the waste of the dovetail. The waste for the dovetail. Is it all right? Is it fitting in? Let me see. Let me try to see if I can tap it. Try to tap it a little. Normally this joint, my student is giving me results. Giving me a good result. So, now, the next, I have one to go. So let me complete the rest. Only one socket I have to go. Only. Now this is the last I want to go with. So I want to take my good time and get the work done so that I will have a good result. Okay. Hold it at right angle. I have succeeded in cutting the trim border of the sides. I want to try and fix them. Now let me see. Now normally on fixing this, trial fixing, you tap. Giving me results. And even holding on its own. All that we need to do now is to cut the slot. But before we cut the slot, we have to dismantle it so that we will not have challenges when we want to cut the slot. The slot we are cutting is this. Cut this one, and it's on just the two sides. This one here and this one here. So now, good. So now we mark out the slot. Okay, my students haven't done all this. The last part of this job is to cut the slots. And look at the drawing on the board. The slots on the stiles, the sides. One on this one and one on the other one. On the exploder, you can see it, one here and one on this one. So that's what I want to cut. And the measurement says the center point of the slot is 70. So we take, because you have 150, take 40, 80. What you have is 70. So, okay, my dear students, I want to take the final stage of this job, even not the final, second to the last stage. And the last stage is, haven't gotten all the other joints, but the sockets and the pins. I just want to create a socket, a slot. Do you know why I need to produce this slot? If I produce this slot, it will give the job a balance. It will give it a balance. Otherwise, if you leave it, immediately you get to a point that is not flat. It will just be shaking, dangling. But because of that balance, no matter, even if it tilts, it will still stand. That is the essence of the slot. So the essence of the slot, the measurement there, they said, is 40, 70, 40. And then the height is also 40. So I take my 40, I take my 70. my 40, my 70. Okay? Then here also it's 40. So I just draw a line and then join this, join this. Okay, the same thing, this 40, 40, 70. Draw a line. Okay. Same thing to this. 40, 70, 40. Okay, now I want to cut my slot. Okay, draw the other side. I want to cut. So try and refix the joints. Final assembly. Okay. The job is done. Now, let's look at it. The job is done. Okay? Now, my students, you can see that the job is done. I have done the deed. So it does, by the way, okay, I have finished the job. And as a designer, if you want to be satisfied, you can draw back a little, check and see. You begin to ask yourself questions. Does it look as what is being expected of me? Did I use the skills that are needed to construct the job? Are the joints properly fixed and fitted to one another? Okay? Now, after I satisfy myself with this answer, next thing I have a sigh of relief. I have gotten it. I then can clap myself for myself. Yes, yes, yes. Now all that I need to do is, as a student, make sure you write your name and your exam's number. If you forget to do this, remember that it is as good as nothing. Thank you. Remain blessed. See you next time when we shall talk on other topics. Stay blessed. Stay safe. Please, I may not necessarily ask you questions, but it will be interesting to note that if you have an object given to you to construct, first and foremost, take your time to interpret the job. If possible, have sketches, isometric sketches, and then try to draw an exploded view to be able to see what is demanded of you in terms of the joints, as you have rightly seen what I did on the board. And then follow the procedures and make sure you check for the correspondence cuts and joints that you have made. Thank you. Remain blessed until we see next. My name is Mr. Ibrahim Yunana. In case you have any question to ask, you can call 080 28431113. I repeat, my name is Mr. Ibrahim Yunana. You can call me on the number or send an SMS or a WhatsApp through the phone number 08028431113. Thank you. Remain blessed. Stay safe. Corona is real. Coronavirus is real. Thank you.